Hey Trevor, this is the second game of yours I am watching. You are Twevi and he is Charisma. Basically that means I'm in the bottom of diamond. Ooh, I wanna go back and read that because I have no idea what you just said. Oh, I see. Okay, you two. What league are you in? Why do you ask? Diamond. You? Just curious. Plat. It said even match. I just lost to a gold, so it's player rating, and that means I'm at the bottom of the diamond and you're at the top of plat. Oh, I see. Okay, good. You said that also. You didn't need me to just slowly read it, but I don't know. I'm selfish, I guess. So I'm sure because you messed it up in last game that you're going to mess it up this game too. I'll quickly mention it again. You need to always have at least two SCVs queued up. Trying to build an SCV every 17 seconds, it's impossible. You can't build an SCV every 17 seconds and effectively watch a Reaper and effectively macro and effectively whatever. It's StarCraft is kind of like a turn-based game. There are things you need to remember to do every X seconds, and so X seconds becomes your turn timer. And if you limit yourself to 17-second turn timer, you're just never going to be able to do it. So if we watch, especially with a build like this of with Reaper, and your early scout, it's really micro intensive in the early game. And look, you're at 20 workers and you should have 24, so you're about a little bit less, like 17% behind where you should be. And so your income is 17% lower than it could be. So I like the Reaper opening. It's gutsy, it's ballsy. I wouldn't do it every time, but it's okay to do it every once in a while. Um, let's see how much you got done. Three worker kills. That's good. Your money is getting a little bit high again. When you make Reapers, it's excusable for your money to get a little bit high, for you to accidentally supply block yourself every once in a while. I mean, Reapers are intense units. StarCraft is a game of attention. You have so much attention, and you're hoping that amount of attention can get everything you want done. But if you can't get some things done, you have to know what things to miss. Like in this game, you missed a lot of SCVs, and you missed a supply depot, and you missed a couple cycles of production on your racks, and you probably missed researching siege mode and getting a tank, and you probably missed throwing down a starport. Because I say that because your gas is up to 300, and there's no good reason to have 300 gas right now. Um, so, of all the things that I just mentioned that you missed, you should never ever miss supply depots. That's the most important one. So if you have to pick between all those things to miss, pick not missing supply depots. Don't ever supply block yourself. The next most important is SCVs. Don't ever miss SCVs until you are at 28, which is about 8 minutes into the game. So you missed all those things, and I'm okay with all the other things that you missed. But if you have to choose what to pay attention to, those are the things to pay attention to. So start queuing up SCVs. I know you've heard from a bunch of people that queuing is bad, but you should be intelligent enough to know when queuing is good and when queuing is bad. Like queuing 2 Thors, that's 500 bucks. That's just not going to be built for a whole minute until the first Thor finishes. So that's obviously very bad. But queuing an SCV, that's only 17 seconds that he's going to be queued up. No big deal. This is not good. You wonder why you lost to the 4-gate. I explained in the previous game that you played that Protoss has this advantage, okay? Attacks like this are counting on him spending more money than you, right? Stalkers, dollar for dollar, will lose hands down to Marine Marauder, and you had 3 racks M&M. Like, you could easily crush this attack if he came with exactly the same amount of units as you, right? Zealot Stalker versus M&M, Zealot Stalker loses, depending on how many Zealots there are and how often you stand in Zealot fire for no reason and get pwned. Especially bringing SCVs, though, just squish, dead. So the reason he won is local superiority. That means in the battle, he has a much bigger army than you, and that's because of this warp-in, alright? And so Protoss gets this, their army spending in the early game. Look, you guys were even on spending. That's actually really pathetic. Like I said in the last game, the 6-minute army spending benchmark is 1,000, and you only have 270 built. So I'm surprised you didn't just flat out lose at 6 minutes. If there are warp gate rushes where the pylon is finished and warp gate technology is finished. Actually, he did one. Look at this. He has his warp gates up at 6 minutes. He is ready to kill you. The only thing that saved your life is that he didn't build the pylon. He's a moron. So you should definitely have lost long before you did lose. Having a bunker with no SCVs at it and nothing in it will not defend against $1,200 of stalkers in your face. So anyway, here he comes, and you have no chance because he's got an army that's more than twice your size, and he's got a pylon right there that's reinforcing, and he's winning based on size. So you're like, oh no, I lost to a 4-gate. But it's perfectly reasonable to lose to any 6-minute rush if your army size at 6 minutes is $200. Like, that is 20% of the size you should have. It's 80% too small. So yeah. And that really comes down to the attention problem that I said. You only had so much attention to spend, and even though you went 3 racks, which is one of the easiest builds to spend all your money on, let's look at fast forward through and watch the racks themselves. This racks. It's doing something, it's not doing something, it's not doing something, it's 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 not 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 doing something. So you see what I'm saying? If we target all 3 of these, they're not even available to produce a unit until really late into the game. You did a very silly build. You did, first of all, a Reaper occupies your racks for a big long time, 45 seconds. And the Reaper is effectively not usable in a real fight. So it's going to put you a little bit behind, but not you're dead behind. Just a little tiny baby itty bitty bit behind. It's like being behind 2 Marines. It's hardly going to matter. But then not getting these racks up quick enough and building this factory really early and then not using it, oh my god, that's terrible. So there's a period of time between 6 minutes and 9 minutes where Protoss owns the game. He will always have a bigger army than you from 6 minutes until 9 minutes, and you just can't do anything about it. Suck it up and defend. Okay? So if you do an attack at 5 minutes and 30 seconds, he's going to have a smaller army. Terran owns the map until 6 minutes, but then as soon as he hits 6 minutes, now he's going to have a bigger army, and he's going to be able to push you back. So one strategy that I used to like to do is set up a contain down here, so that he can only fit 2 stalkers at a time down the ramp, and so the fact that he has a bigger army than you is irrelevant because he can't get his army down the ramp. So you can do that, but the problem with that is that you need to have a very big army for Terran, and you need to constantly be reinforcing it, and it makes it harder to tech and harder to expand, and it's just hard to do, and if you ever slip up for even a second, he can completely dominate you, and so it's risky. But it's possible. But other than that, that is actually kind of, it's not, even though it's an attack, it's a defending attack. You're defending. You can win defensively because he's going to have a bigger army than you. So the only way to survive with a little army against a big army is to defend. So you're defending his ramp. Another way to survive is to defend your ramp, right? You got to pick one. Either defend your ramp or defend his ramp.